Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. I do want to talk about minimalism fails. Things that I thought I could live without but realized that I do need them, that I prefer having them in my life. And like as a short introduction, I do want to say that minimalism for me, of course, is living with the things that you need and decluttering and letting go of the things that you don't need, that do not add any value to your life. You still should live a good life, be happy and fulfilled, and do not deprive yourself of stuff. So, as a minimalist, on my minimalism journey for the past 6 years, I had a lot of ideas on how to make my lifestyle even more minimalist. If there aren't like things that I could declutter still, to just need less things, have less things, and be more minimalist. Some of these worked, some of these didn't, and I think that's normal, and I think that's like part of it, trying it out, seeing what works for you. But let's get started with the first thing, and it's 10 things that I realized I still need, even though I thought I could live without them. So let's start with the first one, a pillow. So I think most people sleep with some kind of a pillow, but there is a group of people that promotes sleeping without a pillow, sometimes also without a bed or just with some kind of very minimal sleeping setup. And the pillows seem to be that thing for me that I could maybe get rid of. If I would sleep on my back, it did really make sense to me that it would be better to not be like bent over while you sleep. And therefore I tried it various times to like wean myself off using a pillow. But to be honest, it just didn't work because I do prefer sleeping on my side and it's not comfortable without a pillow. My life is better with a pillow. So I have a pillow. I haven't decluttered it even though I tried several times. The second thing I did want to declutter is soap and shampoo. Now, a lot of people might think that is gross, but there are also a lot of people that think that that is perfectly fine, that our bodies can take care of themselves. And if we just wash them with water, if we maybe pay a little bit of attention to like nutrition and how we brush our hair, for example, that there is just no need to clean your body with soap and wash your hair with shampoo or any other products, use any skincare whatsoever. And I tried it because it kind of makes sense to me that it should be possible without these products, but it just does not work for me. My body produces too much grease, like my body and my hair and my scalp, it's just not something I'm willing to do. It's just, I tried many times, sometimes for months or even years when it comes to my hair, but I realized that I'm much more comfortable using shampoo and soap. Now, I know a lot of people are happy without these things, as they are happy without a pillow, but it just doesn't work for me, and therefore I did not declutter, or I like rebought and re-invited soap and shampoo into my life. The third thing that I was sure I want to declutter at some point is my smartphone. Now, when I was a teenager, smartphones just became popular. My peers, some of them had iPhones, but most of them had like flip phones or just some other kind of old phone. And I had a phone like that too. I was absolutely happy until I had a boyfriend that lived in Germany, and it would have been so expensive to write messages back and forth that we thought if we both had a smartphone and could communicate via WhatsApp or other like messengers that use the internet instead of like the short message way of like writing messages, it was free. And so we decided that we would both get a smartphone, and that was great because like that we could stay in contact for these 3 years of like a long distance relationship we had daily and write as many messages as we wanted without like having that cost. And I was sure that once I moved to Germany and did not need to communicate with my boyfriend over like a border, I would declutter my smartphone again. But the world changed during these years, and now I could not imagine living without a smartphone. It would just not make sense. Of course, I would survive. There are just so many things I need my smartphone now for. And it's not just social media, it's also like navigating to places I have never been with my bike. Several apps that make my everyday life easier, ticket spot through apps, for example. I sometimes couldn't even do that. My bank account wouldn't work without a smartphone. And so I would not declutter my smartphone anymore. There's just no way. And yeah, it would of course work, but it would not be practical or make any sense. Another thing that I thought I could live without, and that's specifically to me having a female body, is bras. There was this trend about like 5 or 6 years ago, I think, where women, also on YouTube, talking about it, would say that they have stopped wearing bras just because they feel a lot more comfortable. Their bras is something that does not feel good on their body. They want to have the right and the feeling of like just not wearing this restrictive garment. And the idea is great. Like, I could declutter a piece of clothing out of my wardrobe, and to be honest, yes, a bra does not always feel good. Like, I feel it every single second of the day. But as a mom, having breastfed for over a year and just weight gain, weight loss during pregnancy, I have too much skin for the breast tissue I have, and it's not practical. It actually adds more work and thoughts and concerns not wearing a bra to make sure that everything stays where it's supposed to be, than not wearing a bra would like make me feel more free. That said, I do not like use wired bras or bras with cups or anything like that. I like the minimal bralette style, and that does work well for me. And my favorite brands, or the ones that I'm wearing right now, are Organic Basics, and especially their organic cotton basic bra. I can really recommend that. And they just expanded their size range. Now, this video is not sponsored, but you know that I sometimes do sponsored videos with them. But I can just genuinely recommend this brand. And they now expanded their size range, which I think is really important and really good that they did that. So I'm gonna link you a code and a link down below to check them out. And the other brand that's maybe especially interesting for people living in the US is Nikki, because they're US based and they produce underwear for like all types of women's bodies, different skin color, different sizes, and different cuts. And I really like their underwear too. It's also organic cotton and produced ethically and sustainably. So I'm gonna link you Nikki down below as well. And the fifth thing that I thought I could live without is deodorant. Now, it's the same thing. A lot of people claim that they just don't need deodorant if they have, like, so for example, a certain diet, wash their bodies on a regular basis, realize that they just do not stink, whatever. A lot of people claim that deodorant is unnecessary. And if I would live like on an island without any other people, I would maybe do that. But living in like a city, in a society where I meet people, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I tried, I sometimes just limited the use of deodorant, and I don't use deodorant on a daily basis. But I do want to know that I do have deodorant to just deodorize myself whenever I go to meet people, whenever I just, yeah, because otherwise I smell if I like sweat or just, you know. It's just something I think I do need, even though a lot of people claim that it's not necessary, and I tried, but it didn't work for me. And then another thing in that same like body care department is lip balm. A lot of people live without lip balm, of course, but for me, I think one thing is that I have a problem with drinking enough water. I'm not feeling thirsty, and then it's really hard for me to drink enough water. And the other thing is winters or wind or just any like harsh climate. And whenever I spend like an extended amount of time outside during winter, for example, my lips just crack. There's just no way I could live without lip balm, because it would make everything harder. It would make my lips bleed a lot faster and crack, and therefore I do want to have lip balm. And also for all the ones that now will suggest, oh, just use olive oil or coconut oil, that does not work for me. I tried that a lot of times, it just doesn't work, and so I do want to have my lip balm. Now, an interesting one that I tried out over several months, and I actually was not unhappy, but I just realized that it wouldn't work over time, is living without variety in my wardrobe. Now, that is worded weirdly, but that means that I tried out a uniform, a personal uniform. So I would wear a blue pair of jeans every single day paired with a gray jumper. And I liked that uniform, it made things easy. But after a few months, I just realized that I do want to have other clothing items again, that I want to wear different colors, different styles and colors of pants as well. And so I just realized that I like experimenting with fashion. even though I have a really small wardrobe. And I can link you both the video about my uniform experiment and my extreme minimalist wardrobe up here, where I show you everything I own. My wardrobe is still like changing, and I haven't found a perfect wardrobe. I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna have a perfect wardrobe that is not going to change. But I think that's fine, because I like clothes, I like experimenting with them, and I do make sure that I buy them either secondhand or from sustainable and ethical labels. And I do also make sure to declutter them in a responsible way by bringing them to a clothing swap, selling them, giving them away for free, and just making sure that I'm acting in the most intentional, responsible, and sustainable way possible. And so I think it's not a huge problem having a variety in my wardrobe, and it's not something that minimalism is going to take from me. That's something I really want to keep in my wardrobe. And so no uniform for me. I do need some variety and some experimentation in my wardrobe. Another thing in my wardrobe is I thought I could live without a warm jacket. About 5 years ago maybe, I decluttered all of my jackets and ended up with just one. And I changed that over time. It was a green one first, now it's a black one, but it's a rain jacket essentially. So in summer I would use it whenever it's raining, whenever it's wet. And in winter I would use it just to protect me from wind and snow and cold, and it does work. But it's not the most comfortable thing, and I'm not good enough at layering things underneath that I would think that it's the perfect solution forever. And so right now I'm on the lookout for a puffer jacket or just anything like that, a down jacket, recycled down jacket preferably, that is going to keep me warm a lot better than just a rain jacket here in Germany, where we do actually have winters. And I talk more about that in my video where I talk about 10 things I'm not gonna buy and my wish list, because there I mentioned that I am going to buy like a puffer jacket if I find a good one. I'm linking that video up here as well for you if you are interested to checking that out. And the next thing that I've also talked about in that video is a desk. I decluttered my desk 2 years ago because I just realized I did not like that desk. I did not like working on that desk. I was done studying almost at that point, and I just much rather worked from the couch. And that worked well for 2 years, but now starting to like knit more and working a lot on my computer on these videos and things like that, I realized that I think I want to have a desk again. And so I did look for a secondhand desk and actually found one that we did pick up a week ago or so. And now I do have a desk again, and I'm very happy with it. And I hope this will add value to my life for a long time. And yeah, I'm not willing to live without a desk at the moment. And then the last thing is an interesting one, because I'm using it all the time, but I don't own it. But I decided a few years ago that I don't need it. And it's this. I was interested in photography since I was like a small child. But then when I got like more into photography and to long exposure photography and things, I thought like a tripod is really essential. And I used it frequently. But then it broke. My kid broke it. And I did not have a tripod anymore. And I thought like while traveling, a tripod is really a heavy, bulky thing that it would be amazing to avoid. And then sometimes on trips like to Scandinavia, where I knew I wanted to take a lot of like pictures of Northern Lights, I would borrow a tripod from a friend and use that. But I just knew I don't want to buy my own tripod. And I also made trips without a tripod and said like, yeah, look, it's working just fine by putting my camera in the snow, on walls, on other like places to take long exposures. And then I started this YouTube channel, and I made sure that I had a setup of like the windowsill that's right here, and I just where I wouldn't need a tripod, where I could put my camera just somewhere where I didn't need a tripod. But now experimenting more with vlogs and filming outside and from different angles, I definitely need a tripod. Now I'm lucky, my boyfriend has a tripod and he rarely uses it, so I use his amazing tripod. And I use it all the time, like I use it almost every day. And so I would not say anymore that I want to live without a tripod, but right now I do not own one because I can use that of my boyfriend. But there might be a time if he needs to go somewhere on a trip and takes his tripod, where I really need to think about buying one again. Now, I would be really interested in some things that you maybe have thought you could live without, but realized later that you actually really prefer having them in your life. And I think it's just interesting and it's part of it. And it doesn't mean you're a good or bad minimalist if you need certain things or can do without certain things. We all have different lives, different bodies, different needs and wants, and I think that's perfectly fine. And now I can really recommend you check out this video right here. It's the video I talked about where I mentioned 10 things I'm not gonna buy in 2022, but also my wish list of the things that I am most likely going to buy this year. I hope to see you over there, and goodbye.